Hello, fourth grade artists. Welcome back to art class. Today we are continuing our study of line and shape and learning a little bit about the architect Paul Williams. In this introduction video, we're just going to go through the slides, and then you're going to click your slideshow and go through the slides a little bit more carefully. But you should have a piece of paper that you can draw on. That's blank, hopefully, if you can find one. If you don't have art paper at home, like I've said before, you can use a grocery bag, a paper grocery bag that's been cut up. And the back of it, the plain side, is great for making art. Okay, so line and shape, Paul Williams, part 2. Today we're going to review line and shape in Paul Williams. I'm going to introduce you to the Jetsons. We're going to draw a futuristic city together, and then you're going to think about what you learned, reflect on what you did, and record your answers in the Google form. You need a pencil, a large piece of thick blank paper. A cut-up paper bag will work great if you don't have art paper at home, like I just said. So lines are one of the elements of art, and artists can make lots of different kinds of lines to make their arts in lots of different ways. And we have been learning about these lines for a long time, and you will be using these in your art today. Shape is the other element of art that we're using for this project, and we're going to be focusing on the word geometric and organic. All right, so geometric shapes are shapes that we know the names of, shapes that you study in the part of math called geometry. Organic shapes are shapes that you found in nature. They're more loose and flowy, and you'll probably be using both of those in your art making today. When you get to this slide, if you want to review with watching these two videos to review line and shape, you may, or you can choose to skip it. It's up to you. So Mr. Paul R. Williams, he lived in Los Angeles, California. He was born in 1894. He died in 1980. Sorry about this, friends. There we go. When he was 4 years old, he was orphaned. He was the first Black architect to become a member of the American Institute of Architects. And he served as an architect in the Navy during World War II, and he helped plan LAX, the Los Angeles airport. This is him. This is the video I showed you last week. If you'd like to buy I think his sister is in it, or not his sister, his daughter or granddaughter. If you'd like to rewatch it to review, you can. Now, the Jetsons. So you can watch one or both of these videos to meet the Jetsons if you don't know them already. They were a cartoon family from the 1960s that inspired a lot of the tech that we use today. And you can also search them on YouTube and Vimeo to see their episodes. I think most of their episodes are available. But I really found a real similarity between Paul Williams' work and the Jetsons images, the cities that they created with the cartoon artists created in the Jetsons city. And what I find so incredibly fascinating is a lot of the things that these cartoon artists dreamed up for the Jetsons are things that we actually use today. So I think you will enjoy looking at these old videos and noticing, oh my gosh, yeah, and you have to think to yourself, they didn't have cell phones then. They didn't have phones that you could FaceTime with people. They didn't have screens at Wawa that you could order your food on. All of that is new that they just kind of dreamed up back then. And the people who watched it found ways to make it happen. So cool. Okay, so this is the building at LAX that Mr. Williams designed. Take a look at the shapes that he used and the lines that he used. So we see some geometric shapes. We see some more organic shapes. Right, this is another building of his. Here's a Jetson city, and you'll see a lot of these same shapes and lines are repeated in the Jetson city. Okay, so what's similar? Their use of organic shape, these kind of swoopy lines, some geometric shapes. Now what's different is Paul Williams designed these buildings on the ground. but the Jetsons lived up in the air. And you'll get to decide how you want to make your art. I did mine up in the air, kind of like the Jetsons, with a nod to Paul Williams. But this is kind of up in the air. I mean, this is kind of like the Jetsons. You know, if you look at it, you have to go up to get to the control tower. So, are you ready to draw a futuristic cityscape? When you get to this slide, make sure you have the stuff that you need. You'll watch my video and I'll demonstrate how you can start to think about designing your cityscape inspired by the Jetsons and Paul Williams. When you're done with that, you're going to put your art in a safe place for next week. Next week, we will add details and color to our art. Then you want to think about this question. What elements of art did you learn about or use today? What did you learn about the art or the artist, or in this case, the architect? And how did you make your art? Remember, when you're answering the questions, what did you learn? You need to try to answer in a complete sentences. I learned that Paul Williams, blah, 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 blah. I learned that the Jetsons, blah, 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 blah. I learned that I can design a cityscape using organic and geometric shapes to make a really cool drawing, blah, 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 blah. How did you make your art? So you want to include what you did, how you did it, and what you used. So how you did it would be, did you draw, did you paint, did you sculpt? What you did, you're going to draw a cityscape. And what did you use? What art materials did you use? Paper, pencil, marker, what did you use? Then you're going to click here to record your answers, or you can do it in the Schoology page for your grade. Next week, we'll review what we learned this week. Again, that's what teachers do. We will add details and colors to our cityscape inspired by Paul Williams and the Jetsons. And you will need a pencil, a black marker, or crayon, and something to add color to your art, like crayons, colored pencils, or markers. You will also need your art from this week. That's why I keep it safe. Remember, you can share with me through Schoology what you did, but you don't have to. Or if your parents have Twitter or Instagram, I'm happy to see that too. Give you a little, tell you what I think of your awesome art. All right, friends and artists, happy art making today.